close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.
Hi everyone, Acei here, and we're gonna be starting a new channel here about creating a city in Cities Skylines with a different approach because most of the YouTubers and gamers that are online maybe don't have the concept of how to grow a city organically as it's supposed to do in real life. And I'm a civil engineer since 2014. I worked a few years in urban planning, and I have a very good approach on how to build a city, make it work, and make it grow organically as it's supposed to do in real life. Let's talk about a little bit about the map that we're choosing. We're choosing the map Lagoon Shore Remastered. You can find it on Steam Workshop. It's chosen by me for doing this build because it's based on a lot of vanilla assets. Most of the maps that we can find in the Steam Workshop are gonna be based in lots of assets that are not vanilla, and that can make the game to not to load correctly. Maybe the game could crash in some determined time. That's why we're gonna keep it as simple as we can. That doesn't mean that we're not gonna be playing modded. We're gonna be playing with lots of mods and lots of assets, but these assets are gonna be very tested, very recommended, and we all know that those assets work.
Slams through the highways, and on we'll go.
Now let's see a little bit of the map that we're gonna be using. This guy made a very nice job with the appeal of this map. We have a very cool river running up from here, but we have cool coast and beaches that we can work with. We have a few islands in the starting tile that is right here. We're gonna have space for farming, oil and ore, as well as across the river we're gonna have this. We're gonna have forest, this area here for oil. He made us our job easy in finding resources. We have all these coast. We have this cool looking like castle, I think, that we can make a landmark up here. And in here he also gave us an area for our future cargo and ships area. I like the way he chose the intersections, even though that I'm gonna have to be working with the speeds of the roads at some point of the game, but overall it's gonna be a very easy and very fun map to work with. So let's start here. You're gonna be seeing that I'm gonna be using some assets by the start of the game. You see, I'm gonna be using roads that are not in the vanilla base game, but I have tested them before. You can download them and feel sure that they are gonna be working. We're gonna start by using this 3U 4-lane road for making our main arterial. I highly recommend to use the shape of the first tile because you're gonna have to work with that. And from there you can plan where it's gonna be all the stuff that you need to build. In here I'm going to be building the industrial area where we're gonna have the power plant. This must be a two-way road. And we're gonna start building our grid in here. And for the grid I'm gonna use blank roads for now, because that gives me plenty of opportunities to make the city looks good with intersection marking tools. We're gonna be building a basic grid. This is a grid that is very American and works everywhere. This city is not inspired by any city in any place of the world to me right now. I just gonna be building this city as it goes, and maybe I can take some inspiration, but by now I'm just building a regular city. We're gonna need basic space for our industrial, not much space, because we're playing with realistic population mods. These mods makes the demand very realistic, as it's supposed to do in the real world. And since we're gonna have a commercial and other stuff, maybe not a lot of people will gonna focus in going to work to factories. Now we're gonna need some power. I'm gonna use this power station that I've downloaded from the Steam Workshop. I like that because it is cheaper and it's modular. It gives less energy, but it also costs less money, and that's what we need by now. For the water, we're gonna use a basic water tower from Vanilla Game, and for our sewage, we're gonna use this inland treatment plant also from the Vanilla Game. Let's put our plumbing pipes like Urban Planner does, because we put pipes under the roads. That's how it works in the real world. Let's get to the main city, put water to everybody, and we are spending a lot of money. So we're gonna start building our city over here, and let's see what we can get. The one thing that I was saying in the start of the game, we're gonna be working that in a moment, and I like these power lines look more realistic, because in real life you are used to see those power lines that look that simple. Those that came in the Vanilla Game, like this, you only see them in highways, not in regular streets, or for making power jump from short distances. Well, we have few houses, but we are not gonna let's put power to this. Let's use our regular wires. The thing that I was telling you before in the introduction of the series was that the creator of this didn't use the correct speeds, because he didn't use the correct roads. This is 2-lane road from the Vanilla Game that came with a basic speed of 40. We're gonna upgrade this to 100 with Traffic Manager. We put shift and it will take the entire to the speed of 100. In a roundabout like this, we can go maybe up to 80 miles per hour. It's a very big roundabout. We can have very good speeds. And that will help to get us people from the the highway. In here we have 100 and in here we have 50. This is the same problem over here. We're gonna fix it and we're gonna get people from here soon. Let's see, the 60, gonna fix that. 80 for the ramps is good. I don't feel like 50 is as good as realistic as it's supposed to be. Maybe we're gonna change that later because this could be getting into an urban intersection. I don't know, that's what's supposed to be, not a highway intersection, but we're gonna see that later. Okay, let's see, we don't have any people yet. Let's wait for them. I have seen lots of videos about city making in Cities Skylines, and most of them doesn't bring me what I want to see. I don't want to play the game with lots and lots of assets, lots of hand placing buildings. I just want to play the game in the way that it's supposed to be. Some people call to hand place asset, call them cheating. I don't think that it's cheating, it's just a different approach of how to play the game. But my approach is to play the game as it's supposed to be, with the help of someone. That I don't think that is illegal. Well, since people is still not coming, let's continue building some streets for more housing, and let's place. There is a demand for industrial. You're gonna see that this demand is gonna lower very much when things start growing. This is gonna be because of what I told you. I'm gonna be playing with the realistic population mobs. There's the factories, the vanilla factories, as it's supposed to do in real life, for a lot of workers, which we're not gonna have. That's gonna lower the demand for industrial. We see they are asking for 22. This also 22. This is asking for 13. This is lots and lots of people for a city that is starting to grow now. This asks for 25. We don't even have that much people living in our city now. They haven't even come yet. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit more about me. As you can see, I'm working hard with my accent to speak in English. That's because I'm Latin American. I live in the Dominican Republic. I speak English since I was a little kid, but since I don't have too many practice in here, I have a very bad accent. But we're gonna be working at that as the series goes on. Oh, we have people here coming. Let's see who that is. Is Amanda Smith. I think that she's gonna be our first citizen. Let's call them Duarte Martinez. I don't know, just because. And he's a child. She's a child. She's just a child, and we messed her whole life with that name. But that's gonna be work for them. When we touch a citizen, we're gonna see what it is Duartina. Maybe she will have grown. As we can see, we're gonna be playing with other cars, not the regular vanilla cars. Let me see that. Yes, we have banned all the vanilla cars. That's made with advanced vehicle option. That's very cool to make the the game look better, because we don't have these awful looking cars that the vanilla game brings. This is supposed to be a high-tech electric car. I don't know what it is, but we put some regular cars that we can find in streets. That's why you can see all those good looking cars in there. Even the bikes are awful looking, and we changed them for those bikes. These are the ones that I hate the most are those. Look at this. Look at this. In which city you can see this delivering to I don't know, to a regular store hot dog? This is supposed to be a food truck, not a delivery van. We changed all that to those deliver trucks and vans. Even in a motorcycle, you know, this will make the city improve in its appeal. Some things that I haven't find, and maybe I'm gonna be learning that by doing this series, is how to make the city appeal better with some mods, because everybody uses dynamic resolution, but since I'm in a Mac, I'm not gonna be able to use the dynamic resolution mod for making the city look better. If someone knows a mod that works in Mac that is made to do the same thing that dynamic resolution does, you can tell me in the comments, and I can maybe make my city look better. Okay, we're gonna have to wait for us to get some more people living here. By the time we're making some money, little money, but we're making money. That's very important. That's the main goal of this series, to build a city that makes money in short period of time. But as I said, with the game mechanics, not by cheating, not by playing with unlimited resources. The city name is chosen in a mix of two very distinguished areas in my zone that I love to visit in the Dominican Republic, that are Cabarete and Valladolid. That's why it's called Cabaíbe. That's gonna be our first city. We can see that we are now struggling for workers. That's not a bad thing, because that's gonna put us the demand for residential high, very to the sky, and people are gonna start moving very fast. That's gonna help us to get to the next goals very quickly. I'm trying to focus on making a very basic grid. The way that I used to build the cities is to place the commercial as near to the arterial as we can, but outside the arterial. That's gonna help us to the trucks to not make it inside the city, because the transit makes noise pollution that makes the houses in the game to lower their land value. As we can see, we have lots of people. I don't know what is this guy doing in here. He's walking in the street and everybody's waiting for him to move. The game was sometimes very crazy. We need some more water in here. Remember, urban planners always place their pipes under the streets. That's how it's supposed to be. That's the realistic way to place it. That's gonna bring us to a different challenge of the game. Our first goal by today is gonna be to get to the first achievement. It's gonna be to get the city to Little Hamlet and to be making money. As we can see, we're making good amount of money. That's mainly because of the power station that we have is not operating under expensive amounts of money. It's not delivering us a extra power that we don't need. That's why I choose this. We're gonna be making money so fast, so quick. We just need to focus in housing, making people to come and live here. There's gonna be our main focus by now. Gonna make few spaces. Gonna bring them some water. We have plenty money. We can do lots of things with that by now. We don't have a lot of things to do that attract citizens by now because we only have housing and power and water unlocked by now. That's gonna be one of the challenges that we're gonna be facing, that I like to play unlocking all the stuff of the game. These first episodes are gonna be very very basic because we're gonna be only waiting to do something. Now let's turn off some unneeded traffic lights. That's a bad thing that these roads have, that enable always traffic lights in all the junctions, you see, and I don't want to have. We can work with some dedicated turning lanes by now in those areas. Oh, let's turn off this spawning because that makes the game easier. Let's set up this roundabout as it's supposed to be. No parking, no lane switching, dedicated turning lanes. That's what traffic manager does in here. When we have traffic queuing up, this is gonna be very helpful. That's why we need to do it now, early in the game. Let's put some realistic speeds. When we got the airports DLC, traffic manager changed in a few aspects. I don't know why, I don't know what this means. You can see that this guy here is in green and this guy right here is in red. I don't know why. I don't really know why. Once again. Okay, this is the default speed limit. If I use this is gonna make the default speed limit for all the roads like that to be the same. Okay, I'm starting to understand how the game works right now. Though we seen some changes in traffic manager let's make this intersection look more comfortable for people to use it. We can make it wider. Turn off markings and they stay on. One thing that I used to do in this case is to use another realistic option for the road to upgrade it to 3x1. Erase the markings in here and give us a dedicated turning lane in here. In lane mathematics is working as it's supposed to do. Here we got to make this bend. Let's make it custom. Yeah, it comes with this curve it's supposed to do, and we put it in custom. That's great. And we are almost there in the first achievement. We just need a few more people, 50 more people to move in here. We have plenty of space for doing that. The thing is that our residential demand is very, very low right now. Our residential demand is very, very low. That's why we're not getting people moving faster, and it's because what I say we don't have too many attractions to make the people to come to the city by now is just you can come, you can work here, you can live here, and you can rest. You cannot do anything more. Let's see some feature of the realistic population. In the vanilla based game, in this house that is a 4x4, we could have five households. In real life, it's not true. You only have one whole household because it's a unifamiliar house. But in this, you have two households because it's a duplex. In real life, that's how it is. You can have two families living in here as well as in here. No, I don't know if it's a duplex, but that's how it's supposed to work in real life, like what you're seeing there in the game with the realistic population mods. This mod is very powerful. It breaks the game in a lot of things. Oh, we're here. We made our first achievement. We got to Little Hamlet, and now we can put some attractions for our citizens to come. We can put schools. We're gonna be placing a basic school by now. In later on the game, we're gonna see how I place different assets, how I put them to look more realistic and more appealing. But by now we have to work with our budget and make things that the city needs. And one thing that the city needs is gonna be needing by now is a landfill. People, I don't know, when they are less than 460 people, they don't throw garbage. But when they grow up to 500, they start throwing garbage everywhere. And we're gonna be seeing garbage queuing up. We have by now more commercial demand. That's gonna make our demand for residential grow. As I said, that's how realistic population works. That's the basic mechanic of this mod. By now we don't have a lot to do. Just wait for the population to grow, and we can put a little bit more of space for housing. This area in here, I like to save it for some parks. This will gonna help us to bring more people, to make some money, and that's why maybe we're not gonna be building in this area by now. I didn't mention that, but maybe for those that don't know this mod in here, this tool is called the Forest Brush. It's a mod in the Steam Workshop. It's very useful because in these days you don't use anymore the prop and tree anarchy, and with the new prop and tree anarchy that are located right here, you're gonna feature some difference of the game that the mod that was used before. One of them is that you cannot you can correct me if I'm wrong. If you use property and tree anarchy off when you destroy a tree, and then you put prop and tree anarchy on, the tree is gonna come back on. If you don't select the option to when the tree is deleted, to delete it permanently, is the tree is gonna come on when you turn off and on the prop and tree anarchy, and that's somewhat that's very something that people that used to play with beautification, making things appealing, are not gonna appreciate, because when you hand place a tree in some part of your city, you want it to stay there. You don't want it to be moving on and off when you turn a mod on and off. Well, by now we're gonna leave this episode until here. We're gonna see in another episode to try to make the city grow from little hamlet to worthy village. It's gonna be in the next episode. So by now, let's say see you later.